Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Good
Wants to
morning.
drop a hello and
Good
what
morning.
school they're coming from in the chat. That'd be wonderful.
Good morning.
All right. We had a lot of registrants today, so I'm just going to let everyone kind of pop in, and then we're going to hear from the lovely Molly, who's going to be talking about the MSI and CAE Impact report. But before we get into that, the symposium's next Tuesday, so woo, we're almost there. We completely sold out of tickets. First time ever in history of our symposium, we've sold out of tickets. So with that, I want to let everyone know that everyone who is actually registered, you'll be seeing some emails and notifications coming through the registration platform. It's called Eventry. I'm able to send direct notifications that way, so make sure you're monitoring your emails. Also, the schedule's out, so make sure you look at the schedule, make sure you add stuff to your personal schedule so you know where to go and stuff like that. With that, we did pause the registration for the PMO meeting. So anybody who's still interested in going to the PMO meeting, there are tickets left, but we're doing it on a walk-in basis on a first come, first serve. So we open registration the night before the PMO meeting, which is Wednesday evening from 5 to 7. Same location as the symposium, so just stop on by, pick up your badge, and then we'll see you the next day. And for everybody who's at the symposium, we are having separate name badges. So you'll need to pick up a new badge. It's a different color, and that'll be your admission to get into the PMO meeting the next day. Well, that's all the announcements that I had for you regarding the symposium. I'm happy to take questions now, but preferably at the end so we can let Molly present. We can circle back and talk about this a little bit more. All right, well, with that said, Molly, go ahead, introduce yourself, and you have screen, I have shared my screen, so you can go ahead and share your screen if you need to.
Amazing. I will be sharing my screen, but I will start by just saying good morning to everybody and thank you all for having me. I am the executive director of Redwood Consulting, and we partnered with the CSUSB team to conduct a study on the CAEC MSI population. So let me share my screen. And hopefully this will work. Okay, let me know. Oop. Okay, is this? Oh no. Is this working? Let me see.
No, we can't see your screen yet, so there we go.
Yeah, are we in business?
Wonderful.
All right, excellent. Okay, so as I mentioned, we conducted a study investigating the effects of the CAEC designation, specifically on minority serving institutions. And so just as a quick kind of caveat to today's presentation, in the interest of time, I know there's other agenda items for your meeting today, so I'm going to be kind of flying through our findings at a pretty high level. We delivered a more comprehensive report to Tony and his team, and I'm sure if you reached out and wanted to take a closer look at our findings, they would be happy to share that with you if they haven't already. So I'm going to provide just the briefest of backgrounds. I'll share with you the methodology that we relied on to, conduct this study, and then what we found, as well as a few recommendations that we delivered. So, at the time of the study, I know that it's kind of an evolving number all the time, but there were approximately 101 MSIs across the United States that were designated as centers for academic excellence in cybersecurity. So that was the pool that we were drawing from and collecting data from. And like I said, we were looking to understand what impact, if any, the designation was having on these institutions. And so to do that, we relied on 4 data sources. We sent out a survey to all CAEC program leadership. The points of contact essentially were asked to fill out the survey. We heard back from 45 program leaders, giving us roughly a 45% response rate. And then we wanted to do kind of a deeper dive and conducted follow-up interviews with a subset of those leaders. So 18 leaders were contacted and asked to participate in a 1-hour-long interview with us. We also conducted a website analysis. So we reviewed the 18 institutions that we spoke to and interviewed. We looked at their website to see what kind of CAE content was available on their website and sort of what kind of promotion and information was available there. And then we also conducted an alumni survey. For the interest of time, again, I'm not going to focus so much on the alumni survey for a couple reasons. One, like I said, limited time, but also we got 73 responses, which is not bad at all, but those represent only 6 institutions out of the entire population. And of those, 53% of the responses came from one institution. And so that data was actually provided back to the individual institutions who opted to survey their alumni to try to get them some data back, on their grads. But it's hard for us to, we don't want to extrapolate too much on those findings. They are presented in the write-up, however, if you're interested in seeing what we did find. So let's jump in. So there were 5 primary findings from the study, and this is the first one. So we were looking at impact on academic and curricular changes. What we found was that most leaders believed that the designation had either a moderate to a large impact on the rigor of their program, as well as the number and types of courses that were offered. Fewer, although still just slightly over half of the leaders, also felt that there was an impact on the number and types of degrees offered, as well as their articulation agreements and dual credit options kind of coming in last. In terms of how the designation helped improve the rigor of the program, we heard kind of several different ways that that was happening. So leaders shared with us that it was helping them going through the process of achieving the designation, was helping them kind of get informed about the gaps in their program, the strengths in their program, as well as the overall kind of quality of their offerings. So it provided a benchmark for them. They also felt that it improved the rigor by providing a framework for their curriculum. So it helped to align courses with the knowledge units, and it also allowed them to keep their curriculum current and up to date. So by going through this process, it sort of provided the space and time for people to look at their curriculum and kind of bring anything that they felt needed kind of up to speed. In terms of number and types of courses, we heard that, this opportunity provided, again, the space for expanding curriculum, both with broader and more specialized topics. So it seemed that course offerings expanded in terms of both breadth and depth. and also served to improve quality by standardizing content. Oop. When we asked leadership to comment on the academic rigor, one thing that we weren't looking for specifically, but we ended up hearing a lot about, was the institutional support for the process. And most of our program leaders reported kind of organically receiving a lot of positive support from their institutions. Those who shared that they didn't have as much institutional support felt that it was because there was a kind of general lack of understanding of the value of the CAE designation. But after that was conveyed, leadership and administration very quickly came on board. Another kind of component of this that came up was around faculty buy-in. The kind of time required to engage in this process can be challenging. It is an undertaking. It takes time, which is a limited resource for faculty. And so, again, there was a certain level of like buy-in that needed to happen. But once that buy-in was achieved, faculty became much more supportive of the efforts. So moving to our next finding, this was on impact related to access to resources. What we found was that most program leaders believed that the CAEC designation had a moderate to a large impact, again, on their access to funding, access to resources, and professional development opportunities for faculty. This was a really kind of large area where we saw significant impact. People shared with us that they've had increased awareness of and eligibility for scholarships and grants, as well as the designation helped to improve their awareness of, and again, access to resources, including scholarships for students, professional development for faculty, access to Clark, NICE challenges, etc. So kind of opening up a whole world for them. The third finding is around opportunities for hands-on learning for students. So this is typically in the form of internships and apprenticeships. Here we saw that approximately half of program leaders believed that the CAEC designation had an impact on internship opportunities, and closer to a third of program leaders believed that the designation had an impact on apprenticeship opportunities. One thing I think that kind of factors into this is this seems to be slightly more downstream, that these kind of relationships might take longer to foster, as opposed to the curriculum changes that need to happen to achieve designation. Once you have designation, these relationships with industry and government can take some time. So we heard a lot of like stay tuned, TBD, from our leadership who didn't say yes. There are, a number of internship opportunities that are specifically available for CAEC designated institutions, the federal internship programs, and we heard that people felt that they were aware of the reputation of the program and felt that they understood the quality of preparation of their students purely by having this designation. The fourth finding has to do with educational and professional outcomes. And we asked leaders to comment on student enrollment, student retention, and then job opportunities for graduates. We saw that roughly 77% felt that student enrollment had been impacted to either a moderate or large extent. A close 73% saw a positive relationship with student retention, and 2/3 reported a positive impact on their job opportunities for their grads. When we asked them to kind of dig into why student enrollment may have changed, we heard things like increased visibility and credibility of their program was a draw for students, that they had better access to resources and could better support their students, as well as provide a better student experience. When it came to student retention, leaders pointed to having kind of an increase in like high quality programming and resources and opportunities that could encourage students to stay. And as we've already talked about, the CAEC designation also helped to increase job opportunities because the program's curriculum, the training opportunities, the reputations kind of all come together as an appeal to employers. And our participants shared that they felt that employers were more comfortable with their students, like I said, because of the reputation of the designation itself. A quick kind of note from the alumni data that I did want to bring forward is that we heard from roughly 2/3 of the alumni actually felt that the CAEC designation had an impact on their professional success, which we thought was interesting, that they were aware of the designation and credited it to some of their success in their kind of next steps of their careers. And here are kind of just um, some highlights of what they felt the designation brought to their experience. And so the last finding to share with you all today is on that institutional reputation, which we've touched on already. Again, we're seeing moderate to large impact on program and institutional reputation, kind of one and the same. Leaders really couldn't like parse those out necessarily. They reported improved reputation and credibility, improved visibility, improved trust among local employers, national employers, and in the field more generally, as well as citing improved opportunities to collaborate and network. That the CAEC community really was a space where they now felt that they had peers that they could connect with, talk to, and collaborate with. So just really quickly wanted to highlight the findings from our website analysis. What we found was 17 out of the 18, so all but one, had the designation of the CAEC on their cybersecurity homepage, but only one out of the 17 had the designation listed on the institutional homepage. And as I'm sure, I don't need to tell you all, the designation is for the institution. It's not just for the program itself. So this is something that they could be kind of touting on their homepage. Additionally, we found that there was little to no explanation on most of the websites that we found. So 11 out of the 17 had the logos of either the NSA or the Department of Homeland Security or the CAEC, but they didn't provide that meaningful description. 9, I guess just about half, 9 out of the 17 did have that language, but only one of them had a description of the benefits to students and the institution, which we felt was a missed opportunity to really explain to potential, incoming students why it matters that it's a CAEC designated institution. So a few kind of challenges emerged for MSIs. We asked, what challenges you feel are particular to your institution, given that you're an MSI. These are kind of the top themes. Challenges related to geographic location, serving large minority populations, but limited cybersecurity jobs. The field is new and there can be a lot of kind of information that needs to be transferred to bring in new and interested students. You're dealing with a population of students who don't necessarily have their basic needs met, and who might be working, have, other jobs at the same time as trying to be in school, but also don't have the technical skill set required at program entry. So kind of considering their population, and also just sort of a larger kind of noticing that there aren't necessarily cybersecurity professional role models who look like them, and students don't feel like they belong. So thinking about how to kind of create that sense of belonging in their cyber security programs. And so we generated a few reports that are fleshed out in much more detail in our report, but these are just a few of them. So we provided recommendations for the individual, colleges, things that you all could do or they could do, and then some recommendations for the CAE community. And if you have any questions, again, I'm Molly Rodapel. My partner is Silvana McCormick, and let us know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Molly. If anyone has any questions right now, we have some time in the agenda to discuss them. All right. Well, thank you again, Molly. And we'll,
My main question is that I'd like to see the what schools have the designation on their homepage, because I'm having pushback from my own college about putting it on their homepage, and I need links to other schools so I can prove to them that it does belong on the homepage. So if that can be sent to us, the examples of other schools would be great.
Jeanette, will you send me your email and I can get you that information? I have to look it up, but I should have it handy.
Coming to you. There it goes. Thank you. And
Okay.
somebody said they could use that too. So there are a few of us. 'Cause
Carlos,
there's such-
yeah,
some of our schools,
maybe
yes.
maybe
Some
I'll
of our
have
schools have such stupid, strict rules, which are so really stupid. And just I have for years, this is our redesignation. So for at least 7 years, I've been trying to get it on the homepage, and it's well, who has it? How did this look? No, this has to be front and center.
yeah.
So
One thing
I've been trying to look for it.
I did the website analysis, and one thing that I noticed was a lot of homepages, institutional homepages have carousels. And, it doesn't have to take up solid real estate necessarily, but it could be on the carousel of things going on at the institution.
Makes sense. It does make sense, but it's just they want proof
Yep.
that other schools do it.
Yep.
Post that on the CAE page or the Insight page, that type of information, so that under the faculty resources or under the designation materials or something. I think that'd be a great idea.
That was
where
actually, yeah,
others see it and take it to their administration, say, hey, let's get on board and do what everybody else is doing. I mean, let's get a
Right, that's what we
mileage
need.
can out
That's
of this.
exactly what you need.
that was actually one of our recommendations that we provided to the CAEC, was to potentially create materials for website and advertising that could be shared, a little blurb about impact of receiving the designation for students and faculty, so that there's not a reinventing the wheel for each institution that wants to do that and share that information on their website.
It's
So,
just a carousel, just to prove to them that the carousel, other schools have or have something
yeah,
that comes up and say, look, we are the designated school. You don't have to go multiple pages down to our cybersecurity virtual center for
Yeah.
people to see that. It should be front and center, and they're just not getting it.
Well,
Mhm.
next week is your forum to put it up there, girl.
I'm going to push it, Michael.
Hey, if
You
you
better
want me
show
to-
up next week.
You want me to come talk to your administration? You just let me know. I'll let
Please
them know.
do.
Don't be picking on my mentee like that.
No, I love you.
I love
No,
you
but
back,
we really
babe.
need that proof because they've asked me for that proof, and I couldn't find our local school. So anybody else out of state that has it, please share.
Sure.
And Molly, I'm happy to, get with you too. Maybe we can, on our side, we can put together like a video or like some type of short like PowerPoint that we can also put on the website for the community to go to see those examples.
I think that'd be great.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. So Molly was our only presenter today. So I want to remind everyone that I'm going to drop this in the chat where you can find our notes and everything for our virtual monthly meetups. They're going to be available on our website. I sent the link, and then we also put it on our YouTube channel. You'll be able to see these videos as well. So I sent the 2 links there. Between 24 to 48 to 72 hours, we have everything up. With the symposium coming up, I will work my hardest to get all of these links and information up for you as soon as possible. All right, with that, if anyone has any questions regarding the symposium or, next week, feel free to ask now. We do have a couple of minutes. Oh, we have quite a few. We
I have a
a lot.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
My question is, do we have to have 10 professors listed or up to 10 on the redesignation?
Up to 10. It's what you have. If you have more than 10, you can list them in that little text box at the top.
Mhm.
But only put 10 in there. If you have less, that's fine. We've had schools that only had 2 or 3.
Okay, I have a lot of professors, but I have a limited number that focus on cyber. So, okay, great, thank you.
They basically just want the ones that are teaching those cybersecurity courses that
Yeah,
validated POS.
And if,
So,
and
'cause
if
when I was
anyone from
putting it,
I'm sorry to interject, but if anyone from the PMO is on that might want to tackle this question, that might be helpful as well.
well, because when I put it through the first time and it was taken a look at, some of the professors were kicked back, but they were listed because our designation is in our networking. And in our networking major and our cyber, we have a couple of programming classes, right? Just in case a student decides they want to be an ethical hacker, we introduce them to programming. And so I'm trying to be consistent with the classes and class information that I submitted. I put those individuals, but they're not cyber folks per se. They're computer scientists. And so that's why I need the clarification. But thank you.
A few questions. Vanessa, because I'm trying to copy the links into a Word document and that's still not working. I guess that was never looked into.
I'm not
So-
sure why that's not working. Are more people having this issue copying the chat?
Because sometimes you don't want to go to the website. You just want to copy it to go back to it later and
Yeah.
it's not copied.
No, I understand, and I'd like to make it, easy. That's why I dropped it.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
the
not working
chat,
for me either.
No.
And
No?
yeah, I think it might have to be, might be due to our devices or something, because I'm using my iPhone, so.
I'm on the laptop and it's It's not, I don't
Yeah,
know.
Okay,
it
well,
looks
Yeah,
like
it's not
it's
working for me either.
disabled. It
Okay.
actually looks like the whole icon's missing to be able to, it's like, there's usually a couple of dots where there's more actions, but the
Yeah.
chat itself is completely missing from the bottom, so it almost it implies that it's disabled.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Because I
Because
can't
normally
see.
I would do, I would do a control, C and a control V, and it's just not working at all.
Okay, well,
Here's the other thing.
Could you send them to everybody that signed up for the meeting? Just send us an email with the links. That might work.
Yeah, that
That'd
would
be
be
great.
too.
yeah, so yes, I can do that.
So when
Uh,
when I click on the link, I can go to the link and then I can copy it after going to it.
That works. Clicking on a link does work, but sometimes you want to, copy, because sometimes people put their emails and you want to get a whole screen, a copy of people to connect with later, and that's not working.
Yeah, that is not working.
Okay,
Not for
all
me.
right.
The
So,
other thing I noticed, 3CS is this weekend. It kind of coincides with the symposium. And some of us are traveling while 3CS is going on. There's something missed here.
I'm not sure where 3CS is going on.
Yeah, the Northeast, there's a miscommunication there because it's going on while some of us are traveling to come to the symposium, which we're supposed to attend the symposium, but attending 3CS also helps, and it's just
Yeah.
we cannot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know it's
So there's
difficult.
a miscommunication there.
Yeah, so we took a survey to find the best time to do an event as big as the symposium. We took a survey last year and springtime was the best time. And with, venue availability and also dodging holidays and things like that, we landed on the dates that we landed. I'm hoping that more people who aren't able to attend because of event conflicts can attend next year, as it's going to be in April again next year in 2025 in South Carolina. The dates are, I have so many dates in my head. I know it's in the beginning of April.
You'll send it to us, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But
save the dates will be.
the
will be
whole thing
sent out.
about 3CS and the symposium, coming to the dates, I call it a conflict, and the fact that we have to attend at least a symposium to keep our CAE status, but 3CS also helps. So that, I think there needs to be a meeting of the minds on that,
Yeah, this is the
especially for
first
those of us in the
symposium-
Northeast.
This is the first
But this
symposium I'm missing because I'm at a conference this week and I'm missing another required conference because they put it at the same time. But I saw there was going to be a little PMO meeting, at least half a day at NICE. And there was another in October with the ELF. There was also a PMO meeting. So just because we missed, this is the first one I've missed in 6 years. Just because we miss one, as long as we get to multiple ones in the year, we're okay. That's my understanding. Am I correct? Or I am again a victim of the senile virus?
Dee Dee, I see that you're on from the PMO. Do you want to speak on that at all?
Yep, I'm here. So yeah,
I don't know if I think you're cracking up, Dee Dee, or your connection's a little weak.
so you're fine. You're not having a senior moment. So you're fine. Everyone, we got a lot of calls because people couldn't make it there. But yeah, so if you go to NCEC, it's the same thing as if you went to the symposium.
All right, thank you, Dee Dee.
Okay, you break it. Okay, Didi, I have another question for you, but you need to fix your connection. I know we had spoken at last month's meeting about the logos, and one of my colleagues suggested something. So I need to know how you guys feel about that. The certificate that we get for the CAE designation or redesignation, How does your office feel about using that as our banner?
You'll have to send us the request. I can't tell what you mean
Okay.
from just talking about it, but if you email us, do you have our email address? And then we
I think
can
it
look.
was last time, yes.
Okay, yeah. If you I will have to see what you're talking about, and
Yeah. Are you going to be there next week?
I will be there. Yes, I'll be there.
Okay, so maybe we can talk next week in person at
Yeah,
the PM one of the meetings. Yes.
Okay, yeah,
Maybe
I'll
that's
see you.
better. So other people can get the general idea and we can share it right off the bat.
Sounds good. Look forward to seeing you.
Okay. Good. Look forward to seeing you too. You have hair extensions this year? What's you
Say
gonna
that
look
again.
like this year? What are you gonna look like this year? I'm
The
just
same.
between us
Oh
girls.
my goodness. I'm sorry, I don't have. I didn't dress to show my face now, but yes, I look exactly the same. I have dreadlocks. So they stay the
Okay,
same.
all right. Okay. Sorry, Michael, just between us girls.
All right, well, thank you. I appreciate all these questions and I'm glad we're able to answer some of them. So unless we have any more, we're cutting it close with time, but are we all good, everyone? All right,
I
well, thank
think
you.
so.
Thank you so much for attending today's meeting. And everyone going to the symposium. I'll see you all next week.
Yeah.
See you next
y'all
week.
See you next week.
All right,
Everybody.
see ya.
Bye,
Thank you,
Michael.
Vanessa. Thank you,
Bye, babe.
Molly.